Hello and welcome to my channel. Today I want to talk a little bit about second shooting and why I think every single wedding photographer should try second shooting first. So I come across many Facebook posts in groups where photographers are asking, I've got this type of gear, is this good enough for me to start shooting weddings? I got this camera, I got this lens, is this good enough? When in reality, it's not about is this good enough gear. The question is, am I actually ready to handle such an important event? So obviously, weddings are not repeatable. It's not like redoing a couple shoot or a family shoot. You can't just go back to your client and say, look, I messed up, can we do this thing again? So that's the reason why I think photographers should really consider, am I ready to do this? And it's not about, what you got in your bag. It's more about, are you physically and mentally ready to handle a wedding on your own? And obviously, I understand it can be very tempting to go into wedding photography, not gonna lie. Like if you buy a good camera, a good lens or whatever, and you think, right, this is it, I'm ready to do this. And the fact that, there can be quite a good money into this industry as well, that is very tempting. So this applies a little bit more to photographers such as portrait photographers, studio, family, editorial, those kind of more controlled environment photographers as opposed to events or maybe photojournalism. Whatever your background in photography, it doesn't matter. You're not going to show up to a wedding and suddenly forget how to compose an image or, mess up your settings on a camera. Like, I'm not talking about that part of shooting. I'm pretty sure you're confident with your camera and you know how to use it. But the thing is, when you come to a wedding, there's so many more things to consider, not just from a technical point of view, but also from a personal. So from a sort of technical point of view, yes, you can prepare for wedding photography even if you haven't done it. For example, handling low light situations. You will most definitely run into dark churches or really low lit receptions, and the weather might be the other way around. It could be really nice and sunny, which is obviously great for having fun and enjoying it. But from a photographer's point of view, you're going to have people squinting, and then there's going to be harsh shadows. So all this can be learned and practiced over the course of years. However, what about social situations? Oh, that's my delivery there. I'll be one sec. So my Amazon delivery did come while I was doing this video, and just a little bit off topic, but we ordered these RGB floodlights, so I'm going to give it a go and see how it looks. Okay, you can't quite see it, but maybe a little bit. I put it to blue, and you can see it just there in the corner. And yeah, it's not quite dark enough for you to see it, but I'll try in my next video. Yeah, so back to handling social situations. Things that you don't really get to experience unless you do second shooting is handling guests, handling formals, and like I said, dealing with all these mini crises and all the things that occur throughout the day. And not just that, working alongside another photographer for 12 hours, 8 hours, whatever the booking is, it gives you a chance to sort of find out how you as a person respond to working such hours. For example, what you need before, during, and after the wedding to sort of maintain that well-being physically and mentally. You see, experiencing all these things, it does not mean that as you become a primary shooter for your own wedding photography business, you're not going to run into issues or you're not going to have stressful situations. But what you're doing is you're learning how to deal with this, and you're learning how to minimize the risks for yourself and your client. If you're serious about going into wedding photography, doing these shoots unprepared, it still means that your business and your name is on the line. And why would you want to jeopardize your reputation instead of, taking, say, 6 months aside to focus on second shooting and getting that experience alongside somebody who's already been a working professional for years? And sure, second shooting is not like the answer for everything. You're not going to learn how to, claim your expenses, do your taxes and things like that as somebody who needs to run business. I mean, the obvious thing is also getting some images for your portfolio. But to me, in a sense, that is almost not as important as getting that experience of physically being there for so many hours and shooting and managing expectations of your couple. Because there's so many style shoots being planned, and to me, in a sense, it's kind of conning potential clients because they're looking at the images, they think, oh, this is lovely, look at this bride and groom, beautiful dress, beautiful location, I want this photographer. But what I don't know is they don't know this has been a really controlled, styled environment where a group of sort of individuals came together and they planned it for days. They took hours on end to prepare, to sort of design things and, get nice models of experience being in front of the camera. And to me, that is not a wedding at all. And not just the experience of being there and doing it, you also give yourself a chance to find out if, first of all, if wedding photography as an industry is for you. Because it might be you've done a few weddings, you're like, do you know what, this is not for me at all. And it also gives you a chance to find out what kind of style suits you. For example, there's a more traditional one where, you would take more time aside to do these stylized couple shoots or like a magazine style. Or maybe you're a more documentary one where you just sort of document the day as it goes without interfering at all. So working alongside different styles of wedding photographers, I think it really gives you the chance to understand the different styles and sort of where do you slot in as an individual. And if you're giving yourself that chance to find out if, first of all, this is for you at all, it means potentially you're going to save a lot of money because, like I said, there's too many photographers who get the gear first, so they spend a lot of money getting, what they think they'll need without actually having done the wedding. So how can you know what you need unless you've done a wedding? You need to see, how do you shoot? What's your style? What do you actually find yourself looking for on the day? Like, for example, I could shoot a full wedding on my 35mm lens easily. And previously, I've spent probably a bit too much money than I had to buying lights I didn't quite need. And so if anybody wants some lights, let me know, because I'm probably gonna sell them. I've been sort of jumping between brands as well, but then I realized what I have now is fine. I don't need to buy more stuff just because, somebody else is buying it or just because something new is coming out. You only need what you need, and to find out what you need to do the wedding. I've done plenty of second shooting myself. That's exactly how I got into wedding photography. And those first few weddings, they were so different from one another. But what I realized was I do love this. I love being around people. I love the social aspect of wedding photography. And I'm definitely not a studio photographer. Like, I simply have no patience for it. I'd rather be in the action or sort of in the corner, sort of sneakily documenting it. And I found it such a valuable experience. And I don't know if I'd gone into wedding photography had I not done second shooting first. So I'm not really going to talk about the etiquette of being a second shooter, things such as contracts between yourself and the primary shooter. How do you use the images? Are you allowed to use the images, etc.? Like, that's a conversation for another day. But today, I just simply want to talk to you about, the reasons why I think more photographers should second shoot first before jumping straight into weddings. Well, today is not going great for me because I just realized my voice recording stopped. So there might be a few sort of lesser audio quality clips in this video, but oh well. I mean, sure, it's easy to think, you're confident, your way around equipment, so you'll be fine to manage this. However, please remember that it's not just your reputation, your name on the line. It's also your client's very, very important life event on the line. And it's not repeatable, and you don't want to become one of those stories on Facebook. Everybody's like saying, you get what you pay for, kind of stories where, couples booked somebody quite cheap that they trusted and they didn't have the experience and they were just starting out. So they thought, you know what, I'll give this a go. This is not to say that what the couple pays for the wedding program equals what their expertise is, because that's not true. There's loads of people who've stolen images and, they might be charging a lot of money. And there's a lot of talented people who charge a lot less as well. This is just to say, please consider your clients first. There are many other things you can do in photography without jeopardizing other people's, really important life events. And just take that time aside to do a couple weddings as a second shooter to find out if this is for you, and then you can go from there and buy the equipment that you definitely think that you need for it. So I'm hoping this video will encourage you just to think about what you're doing and is this the right thing for you, and just give second shooting a go and give yourself the opportunity to find out if this is the type of photography you want to go into. And hopefully, if you don't, it'll save you a lot of money and a lot of time that you would have spent on buying gear and maybe courses and things like that. And yeah, so if you enjoyed this video, please hit like if you don't mind, and if you haven't subscribed yet, that would be most appreciated if you did. And hopefully I'll see you soon.